They've been handing out the image for free, claiming the photo's in the public domain because they say it was taken by the monkey.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most infamous viral internet moments that, after taking the web by storm, ended up in lawsuits.
They knew they would likely get a few looks, but they say this was just overkill.
Number 10, Smoothie Ken.
The customer claims when he ordered the smoothie, he told the staff that his son is allergic to peanuts. But he says when his son drank the smoothie at home, he had a life-threatening allergic reaction.
After his son had an allergic reaction to a smoothie bought from Robex in Fairfield, Connecticut, James Iannazzo went into the store and aggressively yelled at the teenage staff, who claimed he didn't tell them about his son's nut allergy.
Okay, bye.
I want to speak to the
Bye. Okay, you can call corporate whenever you want. Goodbye.
Iannazzo also threw the beverage at a worker. In addition to getting probation for the tirade, he was fired from his financial advisor role at Merrill Lynch. But the punishment didn't stop there for Iannazzo. One of the workers he abused issued a $300,000 lawsuit against him for damages. In 2022, the case was settled for $7,500.
But he tells us in a statement, "My actions at the smoothie store were wrong, and I deeply regret them. I feel terrible that I lost my composure so completely."
Number 9, Fisherman's Fury.
Hey! 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 Oh my God!
In 2011, Brian Mace, Chris McMahon, and Roni Durham were fishing in Oregon's Columbia River. When McMahon noticed a boat racing towards them, he called out. However, it didn't stop, causing the three men to jump into the water as it plowed into their boat, just about escaping serious injury. The shocking footage quickly spread online.
Oh, it's like, no, and then boom. It's incredible.
Marlon Larson, who was driving the speeding vessel, claimed he didn't see the group fishing. On top of a criminal case opening against Larson, Mace and later McMahon also issued lawsuits against him in 2018. However, after pleading not guilty to the charges, a couple of months later, Larson passed away. Regardless, the lawsuit was still going ahead against his estate.
Be safe, wear your life jackets.
Yes. Lesson learned. I'm not that much of a meathead. I can't admit I was wrong in not wearing a life jacket, especially when I had him in the boat.
Number 8, Sesame Discrimination.
We're sure that we are going to find that this was indeed a pattern that they were aware of. They just didn't care.
In 2022, Jody Brown uploaded footage that got the internet raging. What should have been a clip her daughter and friend could look back on with happy memories instead left them heartbroken. While watching a parade at Sesame Place, Philadelphia, an actor dressed as Rosita was recorded interacting with white children and adults. Yet, when she walked past the black children, the character shook her head and gestured no to high fives.
Now, in her Instagram post, she says the person dressed as Rosita, quote, blatantly told our kids no and then proceeded to hug the little white girl next to us.
Sesame Place apologized, claiming the actor might not have seen the girls, but later confirmed more racial training for workers. While the Browns didn't issue a lawsuit, other families who'd experienced similar events at Sesame Place did, looking to get $25 million. However, in 2024, the jury found the theme park not liable.
They also want the courts to force SeaWorld to look at its policy and for any other black families that feel they were marginalized and experience racial bias to contact the law firm.
Number 7, Tip Taker.
Seeing some people being angry about enforcing the mask law became very common. It's like a handful of times every week, so.
COVID-19 really dragged out the Karen in many people. In 2020, Lennon Gutierrez was working at Starbucks in San Diego, California, when Amber Lynn Gillies wandered in. However, because she refused to wear a mask, he refused to serve her.
Gillies says she has medical problems, but also says masks are not effective.
One of them, I get shortness of breath, dizziness, and it messes with the heartbeat. And I do have asthma as well.
For revenge, Gillies took a photo of Gutierrez and uploaded it to Facebook to try to shame him. Instead, the internet turned on her. Soon, a GoFundMe was created by Matt Cohen to raise tips for Gutierrez. By the time donations were stopped, it received around $105,000, which the barista wanted to use to study dance. Gillies, seemingly looking to become a full-blown Disney villain, issued a defamation lawsuit against Cohen, which was unsurprisingly dismissed in 2023.
I feel like I need people to hear a little bit of what I have to say. It's only fair.
Number 6, Removal Refusal.
I think the common sense approach to that is to just look for the person who has the same seat you have, right? I'm going to look to someone that has another middle seat. That's the fair thing to do if you're going to be switching seats.
Somehow baffling to some, if a person has booked a specific seat on an airplane, you aren't entitled to make them move for your benefit. This was the circumstance that Jennifer Castro found herself in on a Gol Airlines flight in 2024. When she arrived at her designated place, a toddler was sitting there.
29-year-old Jennifer Castro says she booked a window seat in advance, and when she got on the plane, the child was in her seat.
So, Castro got the kid to move, which caused the kid to cry. The toddler's mother tried to get Castro to sit elsewhere, which she refused. Another passenger recorded Castro and uploaded the footage online. The infamy caused her to leave her banking profession. As such, in 2025, she issued a lawsuit against Gol and the person who recorded her. Number 5, the Blackout Challenge.
Significant organ damage, including brain damage, which really is one of the most vulnerable organs to lack of oxygen.
Internet challenges have become a common pastime. Some, like the Ice Bucket Challenge, can lead to positive outcomes, as it did when it raised awareness and money for curing ALS. However, the Blackout Challenge is not good at all. Originating on TikTok in 2021, it got children, primarily, to choke themselves. Sadly, this led to several deaths.
Anderson's lawsuit claims TikTok targeted Nyla by recommending Blackout Challenge content to her.
Tawana Anderson was one US-based person to issue a lawsuit against TikTok for not doing more to protect children after her daughter, Nyla, passed away from the trend. After the case was originally dismissed in 2024, the appeal court overturned the decision and allowed the suit to proceed. In 2025, 4 families in the UK who lost kids to the challenge also issued lawsuits against TikTok.
Well, the most important thing is just how deadly this TikTok Blackout Challenge is and how predictable it was.
Number 4, prom dress scandal.
I think that might just come from me as a person. I don't take crap from anybody or any person. So I knew that I felt beautiful and that I felt great.
For some, people challenging gender norms can be the most terrifying thing they've witnessed. For example, Samuel Johnson. Rather than a writer like his namesake, he was the CEO of Refusal. In 2021, Johnson was recorded confronting Dalton Stevens and his partner, Jacob Geitman, as they took photos for their prom. Johnson, livid that Stevens was wearing a dress, uttered homophobic comments.
I look like what?
You look like an idiot.
Get the away from me.
What does he look like?
Please stop.
Due to the video getting traction online, including getting celebrities like Kathy Griffin to comment on it, Johnson was fired from Refusal. So, he issued a lawsuit against UH Cleveland for pressuring his removal. He also issued a suit against Griffin, claiming he was standing up against what he called the woke social mob.
When you come up to somebody and publicly harass them, shame them for what they're wearing, that's just not acceptable. Everybody should just wear what they want, and that you shouldn't be ashamed to do to wear anything because of societal standards.
Number 3, Central Park Karen.
I'm being threatened by a man in the Rambo. Please send the cops immediately.
And I'm like, ooh, we're going there.
If there was a Hall of Fame for Karens, Amy Cooper would be in it as a first inductee. In 2020, birdwatcher Christian Cooper, no relation, clashed with Amy for not leashing her dog in New York City's Central Park. This resulted in her calling the cops, falsely claiming that Christian, who's a black man, was threatening her life.
You had your phone.
I had this. And so I was like, all right, well then I'm gonna record your scofflaw behavior of your dog being off the leash. You know, I had no idea she was gonna take it to a racial place.
The backlash was severe when Christian posted the recording online, especially as Amy was hurting her dog by grabbing its collar. Amy ended up getting fired from Franklin Templeton for her racist behavior. In response, she issued a lawsuit for wrongful dismissal against the investment company. The case was dismissed in 2022, as was Amy's appeal in 2023.
We live in an age of Ahmaud Arbery where, black men are shot, gunned down because of the presumptions that people make about.
Number 2, monkey selfie.
The legal question is whether or not a monkey can be given human legal rights. And although we share these behavioral and cognitive and social abilities, I just don't think it will quite get there.
In a national park in Indonesia, photographer David Slater went to take images of the endangered Celebes crested macaques, and he got the primates to take iconic selfies. As a result, Slater's work took the internet by storm.
Whilst I knew that the monkeys were going to start playing with the camera, they'd already accidentally pressed the button. Then I realized that I could get that close-up impact shot by just simply letting them approach the camera.
In 2011, the photos were uploaded to Wikimedia Commons, a free content site. Slater requested the images be removed, which caused animal group PETA to get involved. In 2015, the nonprofit issued a lawsuit against Slater, demanding ownership of the photographs go to one of the monkeys, Naruto. In 2016, the case was dismissed, which PETA appealed. In the meantime, the two parties agreed to a settlement. However, in 2018, PETA's appeal was rejected, as animals can't hold copyright.
So this is technically how it works. If you're the person that presses the camera shutter like that, it means you own the image, but this could be bad news for the monkey. Sorry if you're watching.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Lincoln Memorial Confrontation.
I have the utmost respect for Mr. Phillips. It's another person that freely used his First Amendment right.
In 2019, clips from a confrontation at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. went viral. The video showed Native American activist Nathan Phillips singing in the face of MAGA hat-wearing Nicholas Sandmann. Stories began to spread online and through the media that Phillips was responding to racist chants from a group of MAGA supporters, including Sandmann. However, the supporters denied the allegations as further videos proved additional detail.
There's video of some of them who appear to be doing what's called a tomahawk chop as Philip bangs his drum. There's also a lot of laughing and more school chanting.
Sandmann issued various lawsuits against media organizations for defamation, seeking hundreds of millions in damages. CNN, NBC, and the Washington Post all settled cases. However, in 2022, a suit against several groups, including the New York Times and ABC, was found against Sandmann. He appealed the decision multiple times unsuccessfally.
At one point, both sides appeared to reconcile their differences.
Let's sit down and have a cup of coffee. I'll buy a meal and we'll just figure this out.
What viral incident that led to a shocking lawsuit did we miss? Let us know in the comments.
The center of the firestorm, what critics characterize as a smirk on Sandmann's face, some saying it was an attempt to stare down Phillips.